Welcome to MojoPlays. Today, we're swinging in to check out the biggest changes made to Insomniac Spider-Man Remastered on PC. For this list, we'll be looking at gameplay improvements as well as quality of life changes made between the game's initial release on PS4 and its eventual release on PC. What gameplay improvements are you most excited about? What changes do you want to see in Spider-Man 2? Drop us a line down in the comments.
So, should we kiss now?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Improved photo mode. With photo modes becoming the standard rather than the exception for many big budget AAA titles as of late, particularly within Sony's own catalog, it seems only fitting that Peter's side job would get an upgrade along with his remaster. To be fair, the original photo mode in Spider-Man's initial release was no slouch either, but with a wealth of additional features, you can make sure your pictures of Spidey are worthy of the front page of the Daily Bugle, whether Jameson likes it or not. Some of the biggest improvements allow you to add additional lights to your shot and even change your suit on the fly to get the best shot for your superhero landing pics. New Peter.
Did you just leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?
Arguably one of the more controversial topics when the remaster for PS5 was revealed was the change to Peter's face model, giving him a much more youthful look that some accused Insomniac of changing to align more with Tom Holland's portrayal of the web-slinger. Whether this or Peter's voice actor Yuri Lowenthal's claim was to make it closer to his performance, we may never know, but the new Peter is here to stay, so we're all gonna have to just live with it. Those who purchased the Remastered edition on PS5 may have already become used to the new Peter, but for those who still haven't managed to get their webbed fingers on Sony's new console, this very well may be their first experience with the new, younger-looking Peter.
I can't take this.
You can and you will.
DLSS and DLAA support. Switching gears to the more technical side of things, the Remastered Edition will take full advantage of NVIDIA's newest RTX or AMD's Radeon RX GPUs for those lucky enough to snag one and not have your computer melt trying to use it. With the additional boost from DLSS, you can experience the clearest visuals possible without having to lower your frame rate as on PS5, which lets you choose between performance or fidelity modes and locks you to either 30 or 60 frames per second depending on your choice. And for those with the most high-end PCs on the market, you can also benefit from the additional DLAA support that cleans up the game's visuals even further, allowing the game to run at peak performance without any screen tearing or the need to use anti-aliasing. Ray tracing and improved shadows. Anyone else remember Puddlegate shortly before Spidey's initial release? Those days are long gone, as one of the greatest benefits of the upgraded visuals and processing power of not only PCs, but the PS5, is the ability to use ray tracing for the most realistic reflections and shadows possible. Watching Spidey's reflection as he runs up the sides of buildings and seeing onlookers stop and stare in the reflections of the windows as you climb higher and higher adds an unprecedented level of realism to an already stunning looking game. And with more realistic shadows, striking enemies from the rafters and then disappearing into the shadows once again as they scream for help makes you feel like you truly can do whatever a spider can. Ultra-wide monitor support. As video games become more and more cinematic, so too will the displays on which we experience them. As such, Insomniac's Spider-Man release on PC will support ultra-wide monitors, allowing gamers the chance to take in the New York skyline in all its glory on the largest monitor they can afford. If you ever wanted to be fully immersed in the sensation of swinging between skyscrapers and narrowly missing those shots from the many armed assailants perched on the rooftops, this is as close as you'll get without modding in VR or developing superhuman abilities yourself.
I feel like I should celebrate. Maybe take a vacation.
Customizable Controls. For a lot of gamers, this is a big one. Accessibility in video games has become one of the most important issues as the medium grows and adapts to allow everyone a chance to experience it. It might not seem like a huge deal, but customizable controls are the option that is also the most likely to get overlooked. While this may be the difference whether some can play the game or not, for just as many, it's about having the option available due to their preferred playstyle. Whereas some might prefer the standard layout, still others might want to adopt a more Souls-like approach to combat and remap the fighting controls to the shoulder triggers. Customizable Controls opens up the door for everyone to experience gaming in their own way, and should be just as much an industry standard as every other form of accessibility. DualSense support. While we're on the topic of controls, it cannot be overstated just what a game changer the DualSense controller's haptic feedback is for video games. While the original release of Spider-Man back on PS4 of course didn't have this option, the remaster took full advantage of the DualSense's capabilities and made playing as the world's favorite wall crawler an entirely new experience. Thankfully, Spider-Man's release on PC comes with the ability to play with Sony's new controller on day one, so even those without a PS5 can experience the feeling of web swinging right at your fingertips. Feeling the rush of the air pulse through the controller, and then the quick thwip, and then the resistance of the web as Spidey swings along the streets of New York puts the power of Spider-Man in the palm of your hands. Unlocked frame rate. This is going to be another big one for the PC master race out there, swinging along the skyline of New York with no frame rate cap. Those with a system capable of handling it will be able to push Spidey to his absolute limits in terms of both speed and performance without sacrificing any graphical fidelity for a faster frame rate. While those playing the PS5 remaster can experience the game at 4K and 60 frames per second, there's really no limits besides what your rig can handle when it comes to Spidey's outing on PC. While the title already looks stunning running on the PS5 with its maxed out settings, once you see the web swinger zipping around at over 60 frames per second, anything else is just going to feel too slow.
Hello, New York! Haha! New suit, same old me.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.